and gentlemen, it's another motherfucking Tuesday. You know what that means. It is time for the PD Skillz Show. This week, we have got the one and only Joey Ettell. What's going on, brother?
Hello. It's nice to be on here finally.
Yeah, we've tried to fucking connect quite a bit. So, actually, you are the first guest on the show that is considered outside of Ontario as I start to branch out. So considering most of my base is in Ontario, fill everybody in. Tell them who you are and where you're from, Joe.
Oh, so I'm the first American. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm from Staten Island, New York, which obviously is in America. And yeah, what else do you want me to say?
Yeah, just tell them what you do. How long you been in
Staten Island, New York? I've lived in Staten Island my whole life. I've been training since started training in 2005 in Long Island, New York, which is about 2 hours from me, under ECW legend Mikey Whipwreck.
Nice. I fucking love Whipwreck. I got a good dose of him because I live in Windsor for like BCW.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the other cool things I do kind of want to touch on and get into is one of the things, being friends on Facebook is you are a man who fucking connects with family more than anybody I know. How big is your family,
This is a great topic. Go ahead, sir.
How big is your family? Like, is it you just keep finding more family, or is somebody supplied you with this is everyone you have to find?
First, seeing you drinking, I'm mad I don't have any beer and I want to drink. But I'll get some after we're done, I guess. But if I knew it was going to be like that, I would have got some. Anyway, as far as the family thing goes, the thing is...
Hey, I mean, if you want to get a drink, I can take the time to plug my T-shirts. I'll just plug my T-shirts while you get a drink.
Yeah, I don't got anything here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you needed to get anything.
No, I would go to the... That's no problem. I
didn't even know I had anything here. So, I mean, sometimes it just happens.
Okay.
My girlfriend had a party yesterday while I was out of town wrestling, and there was leftovers, so...
So as far as the family, you have to understand the terms that I use, which most people don't understand.
Yeah.
So the family that I have that I usually refer to, some of them are immediate family, like you would know your cousins, your grandmother, your uncle. A lot of these people, what I like to call family B. Okay, so there's a first cousin, which would mean your parents are siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a second cousin would be your grandparents or siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Third cousin, which is most of what you see is me saying third cousin.
Yeah.
Is your great grandparents being siblings. So the way this actually occurred is I never had a big family growing up.
Okay.
And I was always curious, like even like my dad didn't he has an aunt he didn't even know about. So I started like asking questions, getting to know, especially when Facebook came about, I was able to connect with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just curious of like, who are my great grandparents? My father didn't even know who his grandparents were. And then one day I searched Facebook for last name. My last name is very rare. And I found a Barbara Ettell.
Mm-hmm.
So I messaged her. I'm like, how you doing, Barbara? My name is Joe. My uncle's this. My grandfather's this. My dad's this. Are we related? He goes, no. My grandfather is Quentin Ettell. I'm like, oh, I don't know him. I guess we're not related. Okay. So then a few years go by.
And that's usually where it ends for people. Like, I get that all the time where people are like, this Gagnon, and they're literally 2 cities over. I'm like, no relation.
Right. And, I had no intention of messaging her again. I mean, that would be like crash. But here's what happens is I joined Ancestry. And I didn't know how to do it. I almost gave a friend's mother, like long time friend, mother, said, oh, it's a hobby of mine. Let me do it. And she did my whole family tree.
Wow.
And I'm looking through. I'm like, oh, cool. Here's my great grandparents. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I realized Quentin Ettell is my great grandfather's brother. So now, if you think about this, think like a family tree in your head. Your great grandfather, and then your grandfather, your uncles, and then you, and the kids. And if you go up to your great grandfather and go sideways, he has kids, and then kids, and then kids.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole nother set. You know what I'm saying?
And that was immediate reward though for you too, because I mean it's a connection that you almost dismissed immediately, and then as soon as you see this thing, it's there, and it's like, oh.
I messaged her again, and I got to know her cousin and her kids, and then just as it went along, because they were close to family, so just through Facebook comments, I've got to know all of them, and then I started meeting some of them. So the thing is, I don't have the if you want to look this up, you asked me a question of your family getting bigger. So as far as like there was a some kind of study,
Yeah.
and an average family of like 2 to 3 kids.
Yeah.
I'm making up numbers here, but it was something like
Yeah.
the average you would have is like say 12 first cousins. It was something like 100 second cousins, and it ends up being something like 5,000 third cousins.
Wow.
So if that's what you're saying, it's just so many from the perspective that I'm looking at it as far as third cousins. And my great grandfather had other brothers that I haven't found yet, so that's even more and more.
Yeah.
So I can have. See, you know, it's not that my family's getting bigger. It's just I'm looking so deep into it.
And no, it's amazing to see, like, and especially like this is a time like with all the COVID shit where people are sitting there staring at their fucking screens, hoping that someone else has got something more interesting than them going on. And it's just been cool over the years that like you're always constantly, meeting new family, and it seems super important to you, and it's super refreshing in times that have been
the more
shitty.
It's a third cousin, when you get further, fourth cousin, fifth cousin, you would have some thousands of them.
Yeah.
A fun tip, I think I'm pretty sure this is accurate. Obama and Brad Pitt are ninth cousins.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah. So it's time my family's getting bigger. I'm just finding more. And this is on my dad's side. I haven't even went into my mom's side yet. So it's like a puzzle for me. Like I just want to keep going.
Now, how do they usually react towards the wrestling thing?
That's the fucked up thing is, you see me as a wrestler and on Facebook, and I'm far from normal. So yes, the average person, like let's say my grandmother was on Facebook, I'd be like, oh, gosh, you're getting crazy. So that was a fear. But, I started getting more faith in this, like, having the same blood and family, because so many of them are just like me.
Yeah, yes, really? So you're finding a lot of similarities?
Yes, there's only been one family member that deleted, and he was actually a closer family member. It would be like my dad's cousin, but he said something
first cousins that I don't even talk to,
right?
That I haven't really even met. So I mean, for you to be like, meeting so many thirds, and like you're doing the science on fourth and fifth and going in, it's like crazy. Like wow.
Yeah, the third cousin, the DNA is only like 3% the same, but yeah, there's a lot of either similarities or you probably see some of those communicating. We're always making like Joker maniacal laughs.
Yeah.
I make crazy jokes and they like it. And we've all gotten along really well. It just came natural.
And so the wrestling thing usually, once they see it,
I was speaking more about my personality in general. But yeah, as far as the wrestling goes, they're all pretty cool by it. Yeah. And if you noticed recently, I went to Ohio.
Yeah.
And I had one kid I had met before. The other kid I surprised him. I had previously sent her my shirt. So it was a picture of me wearing my shirt and the kids wearing my shirts. Yeah. So and that little girl, she lives in California. She watches my wrestling. Her parents put my wrestling matches on. So she's a big fan of mine.
Sweet. No, that's super cool. But yeah, even like as you say, it first started off with personality. Like I don't even necessarily. Like, as you say, you worry about it. I don't even necessarily think you have a crazy personality. Like, you've got.
That's because you're crazy too. You're not.
I'm not. This is the funny thing. Like, because we just did we did a No Ring North taping yesterday, right? And cool. Like, I'm doing my match, and we fucking did barbed wire, all that shit. And one of the property owners, he's like, so like, what do you got? Where do you got to be Monday? What do you do? I'm like, I'm an insurance broker, and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's funny too, because I'm a. Generally a computer tech.
Yes, I know. I've caught that.
Right. The problem with me is I'm too honest, and I just like to be friendly and say, hey, I'm excited. This is what I did yesterday. Yeah. So I used to walk in with after a couple times in Canada, scars all over my arms. Mm-hmm. My boss was like, oh, and I show the owner of the company, hey, look at this, and he's like looking at me like in horror. And then I try to no, it's it's not all accurate. Sometimes we it's not all totally real. We cut our stuff. What?
Yeah.
You come like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just stop talking. People at work would look at me in pure horror, especially when I remember I come here like a whole scars all over my arms.
In my current job, I only went in the first time I went in. Actually, the first time I went in was match prior to us, and it's when I faced Tyler Hill, and I came out with I came back to work, and thank God we're not customer facing. I go into work and I've got the cuts all over, and I'm like, like my manager looked and didn't know what happened. And even though I've disclosed what I do as like, because we disclose other work for part of our license, but they're looking at me like, what happened? I was like, bar fight, was running my mouth maybe when I shouldn't have, and I sold that for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, some of my coworkers are really cool with it. I mean, they all think I'm crazy, but some of them like think it's funny, cool, crazy.
And then I find some have questions too.
What?
I find some have a lot of questions. Like, do you find you get a lot of?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What would you say is like the most common one?
Like how do you determine who wins?
Okay, that's a really common one. And are they usually disappointed with the answer, or do you just tell them?
Yeah, it's a hard answer. I'm like, it's like if you were writing a TV show, you want this guy to kill this guy, that is just a story you want to write. But they never get it. Well, actually, it's not an accurate question, but here's the most common question: what weight class are you in?
Oh,
and I'm like, I gotta explain. It's this and that. That's the most common question. But it's not an accurate question.
Yeah, actually, we had a guy that came up to us recently. He's like, so like, were any of you real wrestlers? And I was like,
yeah. It's amazing how disrespectful people are. Like, if someone told me, I do this, my first instinct is not to dish what you do. Like, the fuck is wrong with people?
Mm-hmm.
We do crazy shit, but all you like guys, I feel like a lot nicer than like these normal fucking morons who just want to dish you at the drop of a hat for like no reason. Like,
yeah. Oh no, that's one thing I love about the community of guys we seem to always be around is they're fucking awesome to be like, there's very little judgment cast and everybody kind of gets
I've only been to Canada like 5-6 times, and I look at it and I like I came closer. I only met you like once actually. I think it was pretty cool, really cool.
Well, like, once you trust each other to play in a fucking pile of broken glass.
You have killed me, remember?
Oh, fuck.
It was in my memories. The match was recently, I think.
Like, yeah, it was. It definitely was.
Yeah, I saw like in my past like 5 years ago. Like I think it was just a flyer. Well, maybe it was the match. I don't remember.
It could have been either or. It's usually around. I was gonna say I was pretty sure it was around this time.
Right, and then that was the last No Limit show, I believe. Right.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because I was gonna feud with that kid. I beat him up the month before, and then he.
Yeah. And then that never had a payoff.
Well, we all know I would have beat. We all know I would have beat you, wasn't him.
Well, I mean, obviously.
That was fun.
And then that was that was a cool finish because I mean, when you bring someone in from like another country, like if you're gonna have them go under, like if they're not going over, like you got to make them look strong. Like you were a guy that's like you were one of the guys he brought in from like New York, knowing like this is a deathmatch guy, like.
Yeah.
So this is someone I know is gonna give the crowd that experience. Yeah, actually, you know what? It was we wrestled in July.
Okay.
We wrestled
so it didn't happen yet.
My brother, if you recall, my brother had passed away.
Yes, I do. I was actually thinking about trying to go with that.
Yeah, no, and you know what? What made me just think of it, trying to time it out, is I actually.
Yeah, of course, that's a good way.
We wrestled. I wore his boots, and this weekend when I wrestled, it was like the first time in almost a year, and we were doing some deathmatch type shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put his boots on. I just feel like I want an extra person looking out for me this weekend.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah. So speaking of actually getting to wrestle, one of the things that are very different that seems one side of the border from the other is you guys seem to be back at her now.
Back what?
Back at it, like training and actually like wrestling and going again.
Well, I mean, I don't know how.
Or is it a little slower than I think?
I don't know how the laws work like as far as Canada, but New York, in America, it's like state by state. I'm sure you have some similar. Is it by province?
Yeah, we have that similar province by province.
Right. So like, It depends what we're looking at here. I don't know most of the country, but like New Jersey's been back for a while, but like it was like outside and like only 25% capacity. So they've been running shows for like 30 people, which
Okay.
I never got contacted to do anything, but I wasn't really jumping to do it either because it's another reason not to get paid. Not to mention, I got a little out of shape, and I'm still a little out of shape. I'm trying to work hard now because I'm actually wrestling my first singles match. Like almost 2 years, July 10th. But it's in Jersey. New York just lifted all the bans, so I'm expecting wrestling promotions to start running in New York soon. But nothing has been official.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty hand-in-hand deal.
Right. Connecticut's been half open, and they closed down again.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. I did a Connecticut show, I think in 2020. I did one Connecticut show, and then they landed another one, and I could be getting this wrong, but they had to cancel the show because someone reported it as like porn or some shit.
What?
And it's something like that. You want to call me, talk to me later, I can get back at you. Maybe we can.
I was gonna say, did somebody read Hardcore Action on the flyer and think it wasn't a hardcore show,
but it had nothing to do with that. But it was, somebody with the town incorrectly reported it, and they just shut the show down. I think it was porn. It was something crazy like
but I mean, to shut a show down without actually doing any homework.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I could be not 100% accurate on this. So if you check me later, I can confirm all the details.
That's all right. We'll follow up on it for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty fucking interesting.
So yeah, you said you just wrestled. That's what I asked you. Like, I don't know. How's Canada been? I haven't seen much.
It's been the only things we've been able to really do, and I mean, I don't even know if we've necessarily I don't know if there's necessarily if we're just kind of falling in a gray area, because I mean, you can gather outdoors with 10 people, right? And these No Ring North shows, we're doing a small amount of people. It's outdoors, et cetera. Like, who knows? That
Yeah. I mean, that's how I don't know the laws over there, but the no ring stuff, which I guess Casanova started over here.
Yep.
Like, you're not really allowed to do that. But what makes this an actual wrestling match, not just fighting the street? Like a movie scene. I don't know. So that's why I think right. Like, he just goes in the bar. It's not a show. It's like a one match. So if the commission came, we'd be like, no, we're not running a show. There's no wrestling ring here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, we've done it in full, but I mean, we've only done this so far in a I don't know if you've seen any of it, like in a cinematic version.
Oh no, I've seen clips on this.
Yeah, if you've just seen clips of it, yeah, it's done more of it. Like, it's got background the video so far because it was planned to be similar to like what you see Casanova throw on with like in the bars, like that type of deal.
But it's like different shots and stuff.
Now it's like it's been in different areas. Like, we've done like the No Ring Ranch, which was that one person's barn, and then middle of nowhere, which is a field somewhere, and like just doing different environments.
Okay, I'll try to check them out.
Yeah, and it's just different. Like, it's just been something different. I mean, I think the original intent was something closer to what Casanova.
You know what? I'm gonna say something. I had this idea. I mean, I didn't really like to tell a lot of people, but so yeah, this was an idea I had. You talk about cinematic. I'm not saying
yeah.
I wanted to do something. The No Ring Death Match gave me an idea. Like, we have wrestling matches, right?
Yeah.
Then we have hardcore matches, which once you get to that level, some people are like, "Oh, that's not wrestling." And you know what? I'm okay with it. Let's just say, because you're getting through the line of is it wrestling or is it just a fist fight, which I'm okay with.
Mm.
Then you go to the No Ring Death Match, and some people are like, that's not wrestling. Well, there's no ring there, so maybe. And then you look at a movie, like a Jackie Chan movie, or even Fast and Furious. Remember that big fight scene between Vin Diesel and The Rock. And I'm like, we're getting very, very similar to that. So why not? I don't know. I had an idea. Maybe I'll fight Casanova, and let's say a No Ring Death, but film it like a movie. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. Actually,
so we can do so
like
much
a movie.
more. Like, I could even stab him in the eyeball, like a special
so
effects.
work one shot like a wrestling match, but give it that movie feel.
Well, no, it'll be a full-fledged movie, but with wrestling people. I thought we could merge that line.
Okay,
it's just an idea. I don't know.
It sounds like a good idea.
it's special effects and stuff didn't cost a lot of money, but it's just an idea I had. Imagine,
Yeah. So if anybody
me
listening takes
versus
his
you,
idea,
like
we're gonna hunt you down and fucking
with different shots and stuff. We could have like an epic fight, like
yeah.
you know, to give you this idea, I looked it up online. It's from a movie, but it was like Mike Tyson versus Steven Seagal.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like interesting to see that like go at it. It was played out and fake, but I don't know. Just give me an idea for a different aspect of stuff.
I'm gonna reverse bootleg your idea and just start taking fight scenes from movies and doing commentary over them like it's a no-ring show.
That's cool. That's
It'll just be a YouTube thing where I run them down like they're no-ring matches.
that reminds me of I think it was Mystery Science Theater 3000. You ever see that shit?
No, I actually haven't.
Never heard of it? It's like
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
I think it's like commentary over stupid movies or something.
Okay.
Also, like I don't know.
You know what? I've seen a few things that do that, so I may have seen it like unintentionally, not knowing that's what it was.
There was also I don't know if you've seen it. It was the old like Japanese deathmatch VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen.
They go crazy before the 4th of July, like weeks beforehand. But I don't know. Can you hear it from here?
Yeah, I can hear a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst things.
People get really mad because the animals get upset, which I love animals.
Oh yeah.
Fire. Anyway,
I don't worry about it. There's when I do this show, sometimes there's animals in the background, there's kids in the background, sometimes there's both.
But the old Japanese like deathmatch VHS tapes, they would have like, I think it was I don't know, they would have like commentary, but it was like commentary would be like shit, like making a whole goofy and shit.
Yeah.
It might have been IWA tapes, or I think it might have been a JCW tape. That's not Japanese.
Is any of it like? Do you think any of it's like available? Like, is there anything I could probably fucking YouTube about it?
Probably. I just gotta like remember the ass name.
Yeah, if you're sitting around and fucking doing fuck all.
I gotta ask Pierre. Pierre might know.
Oh, Pierre will know. I'll ask him. He'll fucking he'll shoot it to me right away. I still talk to him frequently. He's living a good life.
Yeah, it's a good fun tip. I don't know if you know. After you almost killed me, I went to his house.
Yeah.
He still has not been able to get the blood out of the pillowcase.
He hasn't tossed it yet?
Nah, I don't think so. But I was bleeding up into the house, and they were helping me in the house. I was still bleeding. It was a good day.
Yeah, and you know what? I've been talking about that a lot the last couple days, because they're like without giving out too many, like without giving spoilers, they're like in my match that I just had, like because it's pre-taped, no fans and all that, like WWE style, that did a cut scene because something goes wrong, and I was willing to keep trying until it went right, and I'm like, thank God we have cut scenes, because when things go wrong in a death match scenario, I come up with bad ideas on the fly.
Yeah, I'm not the best fly guy either, but like I actually have something similar. Again, I don't want to give spoilers out because I don't know if it's supposed to. This is supposed to turn into a TV show, so I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah,
but it was something very similar. We did it with no fans, and I'll say one thing: it wasn't that he had said if we fuck up, we're gonna do a cutscene, but we didn't fuck up. But it was an impromptu match, so it was meant to be like jump these guys.
Yeah,
the camera goes off, we go to commercial, and then we're already in the ring. So we decided logically, why are we gonna play music and come to the ring? Mm-hmm. So we just got in the ring and go action. We started kicking them while they were down. I talked to the guy from the Full Blooded Italians, former ECW guy, Tony Mamalu.
Okay,
he's a good friend of mine, and I love him. But I was trained to respect the veterans, so I don't want to sit there and say he's wrong. But he doesn't know. He's no like he just shit it all over it. I'm like, come on, Tony, you have to accept that like things change a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't love a lot of the new shit, but I was like,
you can't come up with TV show. Like you can't come up with music and make it seem legit. Like this was not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it just
nothing seems impromptu if your music was queued up.
Right, exactly. But the point was, that's not how we were going to put it on the show. So we would just be doing it for us.
Yeah.
I mean, when you do it on like WWE, and the commercial coming. You did the entrances for the live audience at least. We didn't have a live freaking audience.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point? But he flipped out. I said, all right, I respect your opinion. I'm just not going to tell him these things anymore.
And it was his call. Like, it was obvious. I'm assuming it was his call at the end of the day.
No, he had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying. I just told him as a friend.
I
just told him as a friend. This is what I just would
have.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Look what I did. I also told him about the I just told you. With the death match and as a movie, but crazy.
The full cinematics, and he loved that idea.
Yeah, I was like, all right, yeah, he went nuts.
Yeah, and I think that would look great as a finished product. Like, it'd be like the ultimate cinematic fight, but the only difference is like a lot of it's shoot, right? So
it's just not going to be wrestling. It's almost like a MMA. Well, just like a fight in the street, which you would use. But to me, like wrestling would be still like a martial arts. So there might be some wrestling moves.
Yeah, and you've wrestled Casanova in one of the no rings, right?
I've wrestled him 4 of them.
4 of them.
And I did the first. So yeah, we did the first.
I did not know you did the first.
He blew up because of it. He blew up because of it. Nothing happened with me. Fuck me. But
But did you do a lot more of them? Like, did you guys like?
I didn't. Was it 3 or 4? I did the first one.
Okay.
I did the third one. I interfered in the second one.
Yeah, because he just does like one. He usually does like one match. It's like a pop up, right?
Yes. Now that was the more recent one. There was also one that was like 5 seconds long. He had won some like 24/7 belt, and he was having the guy that made the Toxic Avenger was doing like a Q&A or something. He wanted me to jump him during that, and this is when I had my leg still broken.
Oh fuck!
So I jumped him, hit him with a garbage can. I turned around, scratched my face, and he stapled me in the head and hit me with something and pinned me right there.
Fuck! How is the leg feeling, by the way? Like, is it?
It's perfectly fine now.
Probably fine now.
No, so it's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying.
Oh.
I feel little things in my knee sometimes. It doesn't hurt, but it just feels a little awkward. I don't know if that's from that.
Yeah,
I feel like my knee is still a little swollen.
It'll always be different. I was just saying earlier, I was happy because like I separated my shoulder like 2 years ago, and it's been like it's popped up ever since, and like felt out of place after I wrestled on Saturday. It felt better than it ever had. Like, I'm like, shit, I like broke down all the scar tissue. Like, that's maybe what it needed.
So you need to like do stuff and working out, not just sit there.
Yeah, and I mean, shit, we've tried to schedule this a few times. It seems you've been training and going to the gym, and you're getting rate geared up. So you're not fucking around when you said you're getting ready for the show.
I'm trying. I just
is this just a taping, like some sort of taping, or is this like your fans and shit?
No, it's gonna be fans and shit. It's called NAX, Clifton, New Jersey, July 10th.
There we go. I was gonna say, is it something you can plug? That's what I was curious about.
Yeah. I was just realizing I should have did that before. But
that's what I mean. We talked about some shit that we were like, we wouldn't give spoilers. So yeah, that's good to know. So that's a show coming up. Yeah. You're gonna have fans. I've been doing
good at the gym. I unfortunately ate a lot of bad shit today, but I guess I'm allowed one cheat day. So let me just make sure I focus on the eating tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did good. I was on the elliptical for an hour today, and then I did a little bit shoulders, back, and triceps. And I'm focused, and then I'm not focused, and I'm focused. Last couple of weeks, I've been all right. I really got to stay focused next 3 weeks, since I still have a little bit.
There's always other stuff going on too, right?
Yeah, it's just I can't work out when I have like the least bit of frustration and depression. And unfortunately, as an adulthood, that happens all the time.
Yeah, no shit, eh?
I was focused as hell like 2 months ago. I was working out like for an hour of cardio, like 4 or 5 times a week, eating practically nothing but protein shakes. I lost 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I got into a fight with my father and moved out, and my head was all messed up for like 2 months. With me and my father are cool now, but once I'm off the routine, I just got back on routine 2 weeks ago.
Routine requires everything to be routine, and sometimes.
So I just got back on the routine 2 weeks ago. Then I took a few days off. I don't know if you were watching my Facebook. I lost a friend recently of my cat.
Yes.
So I got messed up for like 3 days, and I said, no, I can't let this. So I came back. I did wrestling training on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I messed up on Thursday. I went on elliptical for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to be late for my dates. I had to stop. But then Saturday, yesterday, today, I did an hour of cardio plus weights. So let's stay focused. And I've been taking vitamins, fish oil, protein shakes, extra vitamin C.
There you go. getting full in the swing of stuff, be 100%.
Trying, yeah. I just feel like I never do as much as I should be doing, but
I feel like by the time the border
I try to
finally
set the bar
opens,
high. I try to set the bar high because I know if I do like 50% of it, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, you're like,
If I do that, if I say I'm going to go to the gym twice a week, it's going to turn into 1 or 0. If I say I'm going 5 times, it'll turn into 3 or 4.
Yeah, so you like to set yourself up where it's like, even if I don't achieve my goal, I'm probably going to do some pretty sweet things on the way.
Yeah.
Now, let's slip an actual wrestling based question here. Who would you like stateside? Like, who are some of your favorite guys to wrestle in a hardcore or deathmatch environment?
I mean, obviously Casanova Valentine.
Yeah.
I haven't had most. It's not as easy a question as you might think because most of my hardcore matches have been in Canada.
Really?
People like, yeah. I haven't really done much around.
No, that's interesting to hear because like the wrestling type isn't as popular in Canada. For you to say most of that you've done has been in Canada, like what brought that? Like, how did that fucking start then?
Well, okay, so I was wrestling for this company FSW in Brooklyn.
Okay.
That was like my main company. It was ran by Joel Maxwell of the SAT. Heard of them? And I was always into the hardcore stuff, and I was kind of helping book. So I kind of started booking like hardcore matches and taking hardcore bumps.
Okay.
And well, that's what gave me the footage. I got booked. Joel helps me out. I got booked in a company. You better heard of this, Hardcore Road Trip.
Yep.
And that's where I met Chad.
Okay.
And I didn't do anything hardcore over there, but me and Chad had talked, and he had mentioned like, oh yeah, guys, when I'm gonna put my promotion, I pay and I don't fuck around. So I became friends, and I kept hitting him up every once in a while. And I hadn't really done that much hardcore stuff. Just a few bumps or a few matches with non-hardcore guys that we turned into a hardcore match. So I haven't really delved into the deathmatch environment, which is mostly in Jersey.
Okay.
And I just kept talking to Chad a lot, and then eventually he agreed to bring me up. And my first crazy hardcore match was the deathmatch tournament with Viking.
Yeah.
I did really good, and he wanted to bring me back. And you guys are really most of the like hardcore guys I was best with.
That's fucking crazy for me to hear because like that, like our match, the impromptu pouring out glass on the fucking all over the mat, like going into that match, you were presented to me in a way where what we were doing was just another day in the park. So like for you to just like when I poured it out and looked at you like let's do it, and you were just like game on, like it was another day in a park.
I was just like, oh, my normal reaction is like, well, let's see how it goes. Like I'll be doing this. Like,
that's fucking.
You sure that's safe? We'll see how it goes.
Like I was in the mentality where it's like it wasn't another day in the park for me, but I was like, you know what? I'm here for it. I mean, it can't get much worse than it was already supposed to get based on what was planned for us. So like I had no idea that like, because like I said, I thought for you that might even have been another day in the park because the style is so much more popular in the States than it is in Canada.
It depends on what part of the States, I guess. Like you're actually not allowed to do it in New York, and part of that's because
yes, I do know that.
That was kind of the gimmick when I got brought in because I fought Sabu.
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't think he's one of the hardcore guys that you were asking the question with. He's like on the level, but yeah, I fought Sabu. And this is a funny story actually because it's Sabu, so I'm like, I want to do everything. I wonder if he's gonna barbed wire.
Yeah, you
so
want all the spot, you want all the classics because you want to watch your match back and go, that had all the shit I was looking for.
So the New York Athletic Commission kind of sucks. Yeah, and I knew that like I don't know how it works in Canada. I mean, whenever I've been to shows, you don't have a guy in New York. A guy shows up to the show.
We used to.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't something happen? Maybe it wasn't by you, but someone.
Lufisto, basically.
Yes, that's what she said.
She burned them to the fucking ground. And
yes.
I mean, I know there's maybe other moving parts to that, but I mean,
something like that happened in New York, and they tried to do the same thing, but I don't remember what happened.
Yeah. Like they're out. Like no more license fees, none of that bullshit.
Yeah. I only met her once, but she's really cool, especially when she did that.
Yeah, I haven't. You know what? I've only seen her work and seen what she's done for the wrestling community. I actually have not met her.
I actually think I met her at the Hardcore Road Trip show.
Okay.
But so sometimes a guy doesn't show up, then you can do whatever you want. But sometimes the cool guy shows up. The rules just seem to change with whoever's there. So of course we get the big head of the department, who's the biggest asshole in history.
Oh,
he's just one of those guys. You can tell his life is terrible, and he wants to.
On the night that you have Sabu, right?
Yeah. So it came up. You guys can't. Normally, the worst case, nothing but tables and chairs. Okay, I could deal with that. And now,
there's a lot of memorable Sabu matches. That's
mostly what he's done for. We don't need the ball bar. To me, it's like a legend. It was the main event, and I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Like I said, let's put the bar up here. If it falls here, okay. But they came over like, you can't do anything. And I'm like, now I'm a professional. I don't have to do hardcore, but we promoted it as a hardcore match. It's fucking Sabu. No one wants to wrestle. No offense to Sabu. No one wants to see him do a regular match. So we also had a TLC match on the show. They had to just make that a regular match.
And that now, is that the way the rules are written, or were they overstepping? So is when TLC and stuff like that happens, is that them giving leeway, or like?
I don't know. I don't actually have the rule book in front of me, but like,
okay, fair enough.
I'm not 100% if like really nothing is really allowed. I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean,
I get that.
But it's been going on for years.
I don't even know if there's any rule book against what we do over here. Right. Like I know we're not commissioned we're not controlled by a commission or anything like that. But I'm sure there's some sort of fucking rules.
What ends up happening is, Sabu comes to me like, "Oh, what are we doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, they say we can't use any chairs. No one to stop me from using a chair." I'm like, "Okay." So,
and if you're the main event by that time, it's fucking.
So we went out there, and he just kept hitting me with chairs. If you look at the match, I never hit him with a chair. So when I come back, I'm like, I'll be honest, I knew it was going to happen. I planned it off for some people. I didn't know. I knew. But I came back there.
You walked out looking like Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I hope no one's watching this. I feel like Shawn Michaels finally admitting the screw job.
That's what I mean. I just said you walked out looking like Shawn Michaels, beauty.
Yeah, so I walked back there like, guys, I don't know what happened. He just kept hitting me with chairs. I didn't know what to do. I did a move. I did one move on the chair, which the guy said was okay. And at the last minute, he said tables were okay. But no hitting with it. Everyone just kept throwing a chair. And funny, the guy in New York, you have to sometimes rent a license. I don't know how it works over there. You don't have a license. So the license holder, I know personally, he's like, "Well, Joe, it would have been okay if you did it once. You did it like fucking 25 times." I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, even if I didn't know, I would do the chair. I mean, I didn't break the rules. I did not hit him with a chair.
Yeah.
I can't tell Sabu what to do.
No.
So I still stand by that I didn't do anything wrong. But the truth was, I did know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's my confession.
Yeah. Hey, we were just calling it in the ring. So my job in there as the person with less experience was to just listen and do what I was told.
Yeah. So they tried to charge the company like $5,000.
Wow.
They got away with it though, but then it was like, now no one can really. I mean, it's people get away with things here and there. I mean, again, I don't know the situation, but that was one of the gimmicks I tried to use coming into Death Booth. I got rid of. I got hardcore wrestling banned in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you watch the first death match, the promo I had? That was the whole gimmick. Was like, I'm a lost puppy. My life is over because I can't do hardcore wrestling. So now I have to go all the way to Canada.
Okay, I haven't. You know what? I haven't seen the promo. I feel like I need.
It was so good. I got to show it to you. It was so good. Chad used to. I don't know if he still does this. He's not really running full shows like that now. He used to have a best promo contest. And if you get the best promo,
yes, I know. I've lost one of those before.
I won it first time.
You motherfucker.
Yeah, before I even got there, I won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm familiar with the promo contest.
This actually wasn't as hard as I thought. It's been like 40 minutes and we're still talking. I was nervous if we didn't want to talk about, but yes, this
Dude, that's what I told you. I mean, like, I always got a couple questions. I haven't actually had to look down at a piece of paper or anything today. You're all worried we're not going to be able to fill an hour. I'm like, once we hit that 45-minute
Yeah, it's like
mark,
an old insecurity because I used to be the shyest motherfucker in the world, but now I just keep talking and talking. I know
yeah,
it's hard to believe, but looking at me, I used to be like a really. I mean, I'm still a weirdo, but I'm cool weird now. I used to be the weirdo, like get this guy away from me, fucking freaking me out.
hey, it's
Now I'm the
okay.
man.
Nothing wrong with being like, yeah, you're like wine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not lying anymore. I didn't even realize it. Like I was dating this girl one time, and I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm shy." She goes, "You shy?" I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
I felt good. I was like, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and I hated being that guy.
I get it. Sometimes when I like say to people, I'm like, sorry. Sometimes I come off as an asshole, and they're like, "You?" I'm like, "No, no, really, I do." And they're like, "I don't really see that." And I'm like, "I don't know. Like that's what I was always told." So
Yeah, I guess we have. I don't know. People change, I guess, for the better. We
yeah,
learn. We
there you
evolve.
go. So when the border opens up, are you going to be open to coming over and helping with the pioneering of no ringing over here like you did in the States?
I'd love to if Chad wants to bring me in. I've actually asked him for a few times. Well, before I obviously haven't asked him recently because
Yeah,
COVID. But
everything's shut
I
down.
had mentioned him before that I'd be willing to come. Uh, I don't know how much he likes to bring me because I guess I'm expensive because I travel.
Hey,
Like he
yeah, I
actually
get
only
it.
booked me.
You know
He
what?
only booked me
Because how far is your
first
travel?
like 10 hours.
10. Wow, holy fuck.
That's really like 8, but I stop places or turns into 10. Like, if I went
Okay.
straight through without stopping, it'd be 8.
I didn't realize it was. Yeah, I guess it's a little further than I thought. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm used to it. That's why when I
I mean,
went
I
to
guess it's
Ohio,
because we're used to having so many guys. Like, I mean, in Ontario, we get a lot of guys from that. It's like they're New York guys, but it's Buffalo. So I
oh
mean,
yeah, that's literally right there.
yeah,
That's like probably 20 minutes away.
yeah,
Yeah, the city is a whole other monster.
yeah. That's a far trek. Sometimes I like I said, I take for granted that we have like the
Yeah, like
state right
the
there.
gas and tolls is like $100 alone.
Oh yeah,
So I
that's
can't blame Chad if he's like, oh, I can't afford to. Like, I'm not a draw. I mean, get one of you guys for like half the price as far as.
yeah,
So I'd love to do it. If he's listening
yeah.
or if
And
you
I
would
mean,
know
that's got to
something
be
like
something that goes down when there's fans. There's so many limited, like it's so limited how to make money right now, aside from like crowdsourcing a merchandise. Like in order to fucking put a show together right now is just a nightmare because everything's just taped shows. I mean,
So yeah, what? So you guys can't actually run real shows?
no, we can't.
Still can't, no. And that's just Ontario or the whole country? How does that work?
Ontario, 110%. I can't speak for other provinces because,
Okay.
like you said, I don't know the rules in other ones. Like, because it is the same. We're like where you're at, state
So
by
yeah,
state,
are you
province by
guys
province.
like are like restaurants open? Are you still doing masks? Like how is that working? Because New York is finally really like getting out.
Restaurants right now is just outdoor
Oh
dining.
wow,
Outdoor dining, yeah.
still
They're getting. I think it's up for
that must
review in the next week.
that must have really like it hit us hard over here in the winter because restaurants are now like closing down.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I don't want to get political.
Well, they
I
closed.
still
We
got
went
people.
like full lockdown, opened up, and then full lockdown again.
Okay, that's what we did. And but then they opened at 33%. But just over the last month, everything's open 100%. No one's complaining.
Yeah.
It looks to be good unless another wave hits. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Mhm.
I call it the apocalypse.
Yeah. So like here, it's just been now we're slowly coming out of things. There like things got really crazy for a while because it just seemed like every 2 weeks they were saying 2 more weeks, and we're like, fuck.
No, when this happened, I thought it would be 2 weeks just and that's it. It's been like a year and a half.
Yeah. Oh, I still remember the people that were like, "Can you stay home for 2 weeks and don't be so inconsiderate?" They haven't said anything to me since.
Did you lose your job or you kept the same job?
Same job because I work in insurance, so I was afforded the ability to work at home.
Yeah, unfortunately, I lost my job. We do obviously confuse. You could do stuff remotely, but I happen to be the on-site guy, and
Yeah.
I had only been to come like 3 months. So, I mean, they don't seem to be calling me back. I do some
So
like,
you did most of the hands-on like tech stuff.
yeah,
Then.
I'm good at that. It's hard for me to do stuff when I can't see what I'm looking at.
So you're not like a software guy then.
Well, I mean, software where I can sit at your computer and do
Yeah,
software.
like where you're actually sitting there doing it. Okay.
It depends on what it is. If it's something I can just look on your computer, like, oh, hey, this window won't open up. Okay, fine. But sometimes it's like, oh, I have no internet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it could be the wires out of the cable. And I'll have to ask you, can you go behind the computer and look? And
Yeah.
people don't know what the fuck they're looking They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's plugged in. It's plugged in. I'll go there." It's not.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's
so
almost
like,
useless to even get that as like a
or
remote
sometimes
job.
like the way a network could be. Okay, it's not. It's plugged into your computer. Check on the other side.
Yeah.
Where is that? I don't know. If I knew the inside, let's say your house, your company, I knew the inside and outs of your building.
Yeah.
I worked there before. Now I could do it because I'd be like, "Yo, Tim, go walk into the corner under the table. That's where the thing is." But if I don't know, I'm like, "Do you know where your thing is?" I don't know. I think it's this one. Is it this one? I don't know. I think so. I hope it's that one.
Fuck.
Just, yeah. So I don't know. I do some computer work on the side right now, but I have to really start getting full-time things soon.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, I get that. I mean, it'd be nice if we could just wrestle and that pay the bills, but would you
Life
consider?
doesn't work out.
I was gonna say that's something but like that's still something if like it fell in front of you, you'd still go all in on.
Well, that's another thing is if I can get in good shape.
Yep.
I know some people in like ROH and stuff. Like it's not. I'm not saying like I have a ticket to get there, but it's not completely impossible.
Yeah. You don't have a ticket, but like you have a good idea where there might be one.
I have some people that usually like to hook me up, and they're getting booked soon.
There
So
you go.
they get in, they'll put the word in for me, and it could happen. It's possible.
Well, there you go. All right.
Well,
Then before we stray off into gossip, let's give a real plug to your upcoming show that you've got going on.
Okay, yeah. The company's called NAX. It's July 10th, Clifton, New Jersey. I don't know the address off the top of my head. I have the flyer.
Yeah, fair enough.
And facing a guy named Nikolai White. I know who he is. He's a nice kid. I'm probably going to kill him, obviously, but
there you go.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say with everything going on, this is the first time on the show we've actually got to plug, and like I said, with you being the first American guest, it's also the first time we've got to plug a show that's happening with fans.
Oh right, yeah.
So first time we got real plugs to drop on the PD Skillz Show.
You never have any, yeah. Oh yeah, July 10th, Clifton, New Jersey. It's less than 3 weeks away. Yeah, I've been wrestling training. My worst fear is getting blown up. I think that's maybe why like hardcore matches don't get blown up as much. That's the worst pain in the world to me.
Oh man, so the match that I just had, the worst is because we had some cutscenes planned, right? So we had to stop and then start again.
Thank God.
No.
Oh.
Because then it's like starting all cut up and beaten and battered. Like,
well, I'm talking about like blown up. Like I'm talking about like.
First I blew up, and yes, the rest part was nice. But for what I got my win back, but I lost my adrenaline.
Oh, that in that sense, yeah. But to me, the worst pain is just being out of breath. And this kid, he's a flippy kid, so I'm gonna be doing spots and shit.
Yeah, but remember, just because he's a flippy kid doesn't mean you move faster.
I tend to adapt to other people's styles. I don't know.
Yeah, you can adapt to when I face smaller guys, I remember my size. Because I mean, it's supposed to be a fight, right? Stick to your bread and butter. I'm still gonna move at a certain pace.
But it's also just the singles match that I've had a long time. Tag match, okay, get out, take a breath. Singles match is just.
Oh yeah, and that was the main. Well, that was funny too. Is a lot of us thought we were gonna like do these miraculous double duty, matches and make the best of our tapings, and like, fuck, it was the first time a few of us had wrestled in a while, so like we're all like, nope, we bit off more than we could chew.
So when I had broken my leg and I came back, I didn't train as much as I should have, but I was like, I'll be okay. It was the first time I ever had to cut a match in half and be like, I can't fucking move, go home. I was so bad. I mean, the match, you look at the match, you don't know that it was good. It was still a good match. But
it's just when you know, when it's your own shit,
Yeah, I was fighting, his name is Talon. I had him in the corner. I was supposed to run, and he does like one of these up and overs over, and I was just like, I'm not gonna make it. So I just started walked over to him, started kicking him. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't move." And he gave me like one of his like half finishers. I kicked out, and then we went right into the finish. And I was like, "Thank God."
There you go.
It was that's just the worst. That's the worst fear of me. I just gotta, and no matter how much I feel like I work out, it doesn't do anything unless you're in the ring training.
Yeah, I can
run 50 miles a day again during a blow up for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's its own beast.
The best that I was told, this guy called the Big O. I don't know if he was on Tough Enough. I don't know. He
Yeah, I
gave me
know
some
who you're talking
advice.
about.
Okay, I'm not sure. It helps a little, I guess. Sometimes you don't know. Even if you get blown up, like, okay, it probably would have been worse if I didn't do this, but I feel like it helps. He goes on the treadmill and he'll like run full speed for like a minute and then walk for a minute and then run full speed for a minute.
Yeah, high intensity interval training.
Yeah, like to stop and go, because just jogging is like doing going off the rope, stopping, going over the rope, stopping. So I do that on the treadmill sometimes.
Yeah, it's actually something I had it ready on the tip of my tongue because it's something I've been looking into recently because I myself am starting to look into taking some of that more seriously. And it's when you completely deplete your oxygen at a high level like that, your body starts working in overtime to go, I don't want that to happen to me again. So instead of gradual building you back up, I guess that's where the science is. And I can't get the details. I'm not the guy that sells the programs that talk about it. Now, speaking of selling shit, I know I've got you on social media. Your social media, is it open for fans?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where the fuck do we find Joe Ettell?
Oh, I'm basically mostly just on Facebook. I mean, I have a Twitter and Instagram, but I don't really use it.
Well, there you go. So we'll wrap the episode. You made it. You were worried about it, and we made it.
It's probably been the greatest moment of my life.
There you
go. That was fun. Whenever you like to do it again one day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm going to get my plugs in by the time this is all nice and edited up. And here for Tuesday morning, buy one of the beautiful t-shirts at the bottom of the screen. It's definitely going to help me out. And I appreciate every fucking bit of support I've gotten. Joe, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
I will see you again soon. And hopefully we fight to the death again one day.
Yes, absolutely. And until then, everybody else can catch me at PD Skillz Show on pretty much every form of social media. Until then, I'm PD Skillz. You're probably not, and that's probably for the better. See you next week.